Check it. Alright guys, so we got the vote. I'm here to update you guys on my price prediction, what I think, my personal opinions, and everything else. This is not financial advice. This is just my personal thoughts, my personal TA, and it's here for you. I appreciate every single one of you guys that tune in, that subscribe, and I have the news and the data for you. Today was a huge day. It is not to get us discouraged. We have to maintain focus, keep our mindset strong, look at the data, and stay data focused and data driven to keep our mindsets on the right track and keep emotions out of it. So let's go ahead and check out the charts, the facts, the fundamental data, and see what we have going on.
We're back for another update for AMC. In this video, I'm going to update my prediction on where I think AMC is going for the week, and then I'm also going to let you guys know my personal thoughts and opinion on the vote, what I think is going on, and everything else. So in my last video, I updated you guys about this Bollinger Bands getting very, very tight, and the Bollinger Bands are very, very good indicator for many, many reasons. They're good at telling you if a large movement is coming. As you guys can see, the Bollinger Bands squeeze very tight, and the large movement is coming. They're also very, very good at telling you if a movement is overextended. So as you guys can see, the move went outside of the Bollinger Bands and quickly wanted to return inside of the bands. And they're also telling you which side the move is going to be, because if it's above this blue line, that means the move is going to be to the upside when the Bollinger Band squeeze very, very tight. If they're below that blue line, you guys can see that the move is to the downside. Now, I did point this out in my last video. I said the Bollinger Bands are getting tight, and we are currently below that blue line. And then we did get this vote, and that came out. And now, as you guys can see, we're also overextended to the downside. So this is why I think we are going to get a bounce on AMC. Another reason is the RSI on the 4-hour time frame is oversold. So we are oversold on the 4-hour time frame, and that is key of indicative of a bounce. So this is normally when buyers are going to step in, and the 4-hour time frame is a key time frame. Why? Because it's long enough that you don't get all the noise from the like the smaller time frames. You don't get all the noise from all of that, so your indicators and candles and everything else are on point, but it's short enough that you get the indications and alerts and everything else that you need very, very quickly. It adapts and changes at the perfect rate, along with the daily time frame and the weekly time frame. You cannot miss. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, like I said, RSI is oversold, and we are overextended to the downside on the Bollinger Bands. This is key of a bounce coming into play. I think we're going to move back into the $5 to $6 range, and that is just my personal opinion. I think we're going to move back into the lower $5 range, $6 range, maybe hit our head on 490, trade in the 450 to $5 range. But after that, I think by the end of the week, we will move to that $6 price target that I said earlier in my videos, which I updated as the low for this week as $6. I'm thinking that will be our high, and we might have a possible low of $4, but I still think that $6 price target on my original prediction is valid and still intact. So that is just my personal opinion on the technical analysis and the price prediction for the end of this week. I do think we can end the week at a high of $6 and a low of $4. So that is my price prediction for this week. Another thing we can look at is the larger time frame. So if we look at the larger time frames, you guys can see that AMC is still in this overall pattern of a uptrend. Now, we did break that low, this overall uptrend. Now we did break that low that I was hoping to hold as key support, but we are still holding key levels as support. The only thing that looks like we could have potential more downside, and I will be tracking the price action closely, very, very closely, because if we form some type of a bear flag or anything like that, or if we can't break back above and get that bounce that I was talking about, back above that level, I think we are going to break quickly back above that level tomorrow. But if for some reason we cannot, we have to look at the downside at this possible gap fill right here at $4. So if we were to get that downside to $4. I do think we would get the bounce immediately after that and start heading back to the upside. Again, I still think my price target for $6 is valid for the end of the week. $4 for the absolute low. I do not see us even hanging around. I honestly think that we're going to close around the $5 level, but for my high at the end of the week, I think it's going to be $6, and for the low, I think it's going to be $4. That gives me a little bit of leeway and to play with for my prediction. This is just being straightforward and honest with you guys. If you look at everything else on the bigger time frames, again, the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly, the key time frames that I like to look at, things are looking very, very bullish on the weekly time frame. Again, bullish green weekly MACD. We also are still in a overall uptrend with higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, and then if we get a bounce here, it will be confirmed a higher low. So things are still looking extremely bullish, and we have the Bollinger Bands constricting here on the weekly time frame, looking extremely bullish in my personal opinion, along with the technical breakout of this falling wedge, the 2-year downtrend, which has a price target of beating the overall high all-time highs, and that is just based off the technical analysis alone. The technical analysis is telling me that we are still bullish and we still are remaining on track in the bigger picture. When in doubt, zoom out. So this is everything I'm looking at technical analysis wise. Let's go ahead and look at the data, the failure to delivers, the cost of borrow rate, short interest rates, and then I'll tell you guys what I think about the vote, everything going on with that, and then my personal thoughts with that. So if we look at the failure to delivers, FTDs, you guys can see that we have a ton of FTDs coming due. So the FTDs are something that has to be bought at T plus 35. If they don't get closed out, they need to be shares bought in the open market, and this can give us buying pressure to the upside. So this is extremely bullish for AMC in my personal opinion. As I was saying, these FTDs have to be bought because of T plus 35 closeout date. They need to be bought. So we have to keep that in mind, that these are shares that have to be bought at the open market, and we also have to keep in mind the overall data. So if we look at everything, we can see that there are 7.5, about 7 million FTDs, and on the lower end where we went to the high, all-time high last time, there was only about 5 million FTDs, 4 million FTDs at the peak. So AMC is still loaded up to squeeze with the FTDs. Now, the bad thing is this 10-to-1 reverse split. Now that is the thing, and this is why I'm going to get into at the end of the video. This 10-to-1 reverse split would erase the FTDs, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it would change the QSIP number, and changing the QSIP number of the stock will erase the FTDs. And normally a 10-to-1 stock split is not a good thing. This is not something that we want. This is a penny stock move. This is showing short sellers that we are in trouble. This is not something that you want. And I think the court is going to overturn this decision. I think it's going to go against Adam Aron. I think it's very clear that he's guilty of what they're saying, because they said by selling Ontario Capital, all of them ape shares, that they basically gave Ontario Capital enough vote, which they did, they are very guilty of, to rig the vote. And that is basically what happened. Then Adam Aron gets dilution, what he wants, and everyone's happy. Ontario Capital gets paid because they get the ape to AMC vote, or they get the ape to AMC trade, and they make a ton of money. Adam Aron gets his dilution. Everybody's happy. It's a win-win for them. And I made a great video on this. I'll put it down in the comment section, but you guys can check that out for yourself if you like. Let's go ahead and look at the other data, and then I'll tell you my personal opinions on the vote and everything else furthermore at the end of the video. So if we look at the short interest, you guys can see, I'll go ahead and update it right now. You guys can see as of right now, they only have 50,000 shares available to borrow. They used most of the ammo that they had today, so we could see some major upside. I think once the vote came in, they really tried to short it down and tried to dissuade apes and really tried to psych people out, shake people out right now. This is a huge shakeout. You need to not be shaken out by this. You need to stay strong. You need to hold this thing. Even if things don't go our way and we're upset, I'm going to hold this thing to the end, and that is just my personal opinion. I am not leaving. I'm not selling my shares. I'm going to just hold it and see what happens because I've been in the play too long to do anything else, and that's just the facts. I am up on my shares because I've been in this play since a very early position. I am up on most of my shares. Some of my shares I am down, but I am up on most of my shares, and I'm just going to hold them because I want to see what happens. But let's go ahead and look at the short interest and move on. So the short interest is at 24.39%. So we do have overall short interest very, very high. Very, very good for a short squeeze. Again, bullish metrics for AMC. If we look at the cost to borrow rate, so the cost to borrow rate is still at 100%, about 120%. Again, putting pressure on the shorts, making it very hard to borrow the stock and making it very hard to start new short positions, get the stock, and also making a cost yearly for the shorts more and more of cost or a higher cost. So all of this, again, cost of borrow being this high is extremely bullish for AMC for many, many reasons. And another reason why AMC could literally explode at any minute, along with the short interest, along with the FTDs, and with any type of catalyst. I do believe that AMC could see a run at any time. It really doesn't matter what price point AMC's at. It really does not. If we look at the options chain is still loaded with a ton of gamma like always, so this thing could literally take off. If we do get above that $6 range, we could see this thing get crazy very, very fast, and that is always a present threat for the hedgies or the hedge funds, because normally this thing is loaded with gamma. Sometimes it's not, but normally it is. And again, if we get above that $6 range, it could easily take us to these higher levels of like $8-10, to that higher level where I was saying and predicting earlier for the high of the week. Again, I predicted a low of $6, and I do think that is still in effect, but I'm putting that at the high, and I think at the possible low we could get is $4 at the possible low. I'm thinking we're going to close around the 550 region for the end of this week. If we look at everything else, that is basically it. As far as the technical data, I'm going to tell you my personal thoughts on APE and what I think is going on with this vote. So basically everything going on with the vote is, guys, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I think that the vote was rigged. Now, I did a very good video on this where I deep dived into the information, but basically when Adam Aaron sold those shares to Ontario Capital, that's when he rigged the vote. Ontario Capital had enough shares then to rig the vote to a yes. Why would Ontario Capital want the vote to be a yes? Because they wanted to get the APE to AMC vote. When they did this, they would make a ton of money, and then Adam Aaron would get his yes vote, which caused a dilution. Now, I think the vote was rigged against us. Now, a court went against Adam Aaron and said this very thing. That's why I think that it's going to rule in our favor, and that is also why nothing is happening until April 27th. So we could see this thing tied up for quite some time. I do think that if the vote gets turned into a no, we could see that trigger Moass instantly, because hedge funds will have to reposition, things will change very, very quickly, and it's not something that the hedge funds expected, because they expected the vote to be a yes. This is just my personal opinion. It is not fact. It kind of is fact that Adam Aaron did a certain amount of things, like sold the APE shares to Ontario Capital, but everything else is just my conjecture and theory. Now, these are my personal opinions, and I'm not a financial advisor, but let's continue. So I think the court is going to rule in my favor, or in our favor, and overturn all of this, and that could actually trigger the Moass right then and there. So if this thing gets figured out on April 27th, that will be very, very good for us, and I do think that will trigger the Moass right then and there. I don't think this is going to end in Adam Aaron's favor, where he gets the conversion and all of that stuff. Even if he does, I think this is going to be tied up in court. I think even Apes personally might go ahead and put lawsuits against him. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, but this is just a possibility. So overall, I think that a lot of people are upset today. A lot of people are angry, me included. But I think in the end, things are going to go our way. And even if they don't, I am going to hold my AMC shares. I'm not selling my AMC shares. I'm holding to literally zero or Moass, nothing less The money I put in the AMC is for that. This is what it is. That is not the smartest way to do it, but I don't care. This is my money. I do what I want, and I'm holding to the end. So guys, this is basically the video. I think things are going to go in our favor at the end. Again, I think a yes vote could trigger the Moass, and I think my price prediction of $6 at the low and then $8 to $10 at the high is a little off. I'm going to adjust it. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I thought that we would get a different outcome from everything. I think things are going to go on our favor. I think the vote is going to be overturned. I think it's going to eventually be a no. I think a no vote could trigger the Moass. This could take a little bit longer than April 27th, and I am updating my price prediction from $8 to $10 at the absolute high and $6 at the low, and I'm changing it to $6 at the low or at the high and $4 at the low. Again, everyone makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. I'm accurate most of the time, and I'm just gonna keep dropping these videos, doing my TA, doing my DD, and hoping you guys tune in and being thankful for everyone who does. But guys, that is the video. Hopefully you found it informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content like this, and as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
Alright guys, that was the video. Hopefully you found it informative. Hopefully you found the technical analysis useful. Hopefully you found the data important. Remember, keep your mindset strong by keeping data focused and emotion out of it. You can check me out on Discord and Twitter absolutely free. I'll link those down in the comment section in the description. And guys, remember, they are going to do everything to try to shake you out of this play, but if you have the mindset of zero or Moass, you will be able to hold to the end. I cannot tell you guys what to do. I cannot give you the right advice at that, but I can let you know what the data and my personal opinion is. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.